Well, South Carolina men's basketball team, of course, getting a huge win on the road at Georgia and came home on Saturday, stumbled against Texas A&M, and of course they're trying to one step forward, two steps back, so to speak. But nonetheless, they got something to look forward to. And now we have something to look forward to. Brian Hand joining me at Spurs and Feathers. And Brian, of course, let's start with the men's basketball team. Of course, tomorrow they head to Alabama. A tough road game wherever you go in the SEC. But here's a team that's trying to find their way, but limited as far as players, and just been really tough for them, these guys this season.
It really has. And, I asked Frank Martin, it's now week 8 of the SEC season, what he knows about his team in week 8 that he didn't know in week 1, and he says that they're resilient. And I think that's the word. It really is what the Gamecocks are about right now. You mentioned last week, they go and beat Georgia and then don't play so well on the weekend against Texas A&M. They beat Alabama earlier this year. They're hoping to do the same thing at Alabama. But we're finding out, even Kentucky, who obviously hadn't lost yet, is finding out SEC's not bad this year. Right now there could be 6, 7, SEC teams in the NCAA tournament. It's a tough league, and when you're trying to build, it makes it even that much tougher.
No doubt about it. Of course, when you don't have as many players that you need, we don't have too deep in basketball. It's tough the way you try to run and get after folks on defense. But South Carolina again tomorrow at Alabama to try to get back in that winning column. For the women, of course, they're going right now very strong against Tennessee, and this is a matchup basically I think for the SEC. And as Dawn Staley said this week, if you want to become the best, you're going to have to get through some of these giants.
And you have to. And Tennessee has been the SEC giant and one of that. We talked about UConn 2 weeks ago, exactly 2 weeks ago. Tennessee is right there with them. UConn, Tennessee have been the stalwarts forever. And South Carolina, beat them one of the last 9 games. And so if they want to get to that level, a win against them would go a long way in that regard if they want to be considered one of the standards.
Well, like I said, if you want to get this win, you got to play hard. And at home, as out there the first half of this ball game, the crowd is great. And it's just one of those games that everybody wants to see. Now, baseball, we got all sports going on right now. Chad Holbrook and the baseball team, of course, lost 1 game, the first game they played of opening season, but now they've pretty much won 5 straight, or 6 straight, I should say. And now they got Davidson coming in tomorrow, and then the big rivalry with Clemson coming up this weekend.
Yeah, a very good Davidson team. But you talked about that lost that season opener, and everybody was already questioning what was going on. But Chad Holbrook himself was a little disappointed in their fight. Well, the next day, they took 2 straight from College Charleston, and they really haven't looked back since then. Won 6 straight, as you mentioned, easily defeated Northeastern this past weekend, and you got Davidson, as we talked about. But everybody's looking forward to Clemson already, as they should be. All eyes of college baseball will be on that game. That's one of the biggest series of the year in college baseball.
Well, the Clemson fans are not so happy with Jack Leggett. This has been going on for a couple of years. Athletics director Dan Radakovich kind of put Jack on notice, so to speak, expecting baseball to be better. And I think this rivalry is going to be big for Jack Leggett because he knows that the eyes are on him.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since Clemson's taken a series from South Carolina, even really won a game in the series. Last year, I went to all 3 games last year, and, you were down on that Sunday, down to the last strike, basically, and South Carolina still found a way to get 2 runs and win that game and sweep the series from Clemson. If Clemson and Jack Leggett particularly wants to get things going forward, particularly after losing 2 of the first 3 to West Virginia to start the year. I know they beat Maine 3 straight this past weekend. But if they want to go in the right direction, beating South Carolina could go a long way to making the Tiger fans happy.
They must do it. Starts at Clemson, and of course in Greenville, then on Sunday right here in Columbia. So that's all things Gamecocks on tonight in our 8th segment of sports. When we come back, we'll wrap things up here in just a moment.